Daniel chapter 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Yehudah, came Nabuchodonosor, king of Babel, to Jerusalem, and besieged it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Yehudah, into his hand, with part of the vessels of the house of Elohim, and he carried them into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. And the king spoke to Ashpenaz, the master of the eunuchs, of his eunuchs, that he should bring in certain of the children of Israel, even of the seed royal, and of the nobles, youths in whom was no blemish, but well favoured, and skilful in all wisdom, and endued with knowledge, and understanding science, that's knowledge, and such as had ability to stand in the king's palace, and that he should teach them the learning and the tongue of the Kashdim. And the king appointed for them a daily portion of the king's dainties, and of the wine which he drank, and that they should be nourished 3 years, that at the end thereof they should stand before the king. Now among these were of the children of Yehudah Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And the prince of the eunuchs gave names to them. To Daniel he gave the name Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah Shadrach, and to Mishael Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the king's dainties, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now, there's nothing wrong with drinking a little wine, and there's nothing wrong with eating meat, so long as it's not an unclean meat, and it should be slaughtered properly. It shouldn't have blood in it. But the issue here was probably that the meat was sacrificed to the gods of Nabuchodonosor before being eaten, so it's idolatrous meat. Likewise, the wine was probably sacrificed as well, and the people of God are not allowed to eat those things that are sacrificed to idols. But vegetables typically don't get sacrificed. Now, God made Daniel to find kindness and compassion in the sight of the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said to Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your food and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse looking than the youths that are of your own age? So would ye endanger my head with the king? Then said Daniel to the steward whom the prince of the eunuchs had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us vegetables to eat, and water to drink. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the youths that eat of the king's dainties, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he hearkened to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days, tested them. And at the end of 10 days their countenances appeared fairer, better looking that is, and they were fatter in flesh than all the youths that did eat of the king's dainties. So the steward took away their dainties, and the wine that they should drink, and gave them vegetables. Now as for these 4 youths, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. And at the end of the days, which the king had appointed for bringing them in, the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before Nabuchodonosor, and the king communed with them. And among them all was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king, and in every matter of wisdom and understanding, concerning which the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters that were in all his realm. And Daniel continued even to the first year of King Koresh.